Hi students, welcome to yet another session of my class. We are discussing Candide by Voltaire. Let us continue the story of the novel Candide. Chapter 9. Yes. Don Isajar arrives to find Cunegonde and Candide alone together and attacks Candide in a jealous rage. Yes, in the previous chapter, that is in chapter 8, we saw that this candidate reached the castle of Don Izajar and there he met his old lady love Cunegonde. Now this lady now this Cunegonde is the mistress of Don Izajar as well as Grand Inquisitor. So suddenly this Don Izajar arrives to find Cunegonde and Candide alone together in his castle and attacks Candide in a jealous rage. Yes, he gets angry and he attacked Candide. Candide kills Don Isajar with a sword given to him by the old woman. Suddenly, this Candide kills this man, Don Isajar, with a sword given to Candide by the old woman. And suddenly, the Grand Inquisitor arrives to enjoy his allotted evening time with Cunegonde. Suddenly, Grand Inquisitor visited his castle, that is Don Isaja's castle, arrives to enjoy his allotted time with Cunegonde and is surprised to find there Candide. And Candide also kills this Grand Inquisitor. And Cunegonde gathers her jewels and the three horses from the stable and flees with Candide and the old woman. Yes, Cunegonde gathers her jewels and money and three horses from the stable and flees with Candide and the old woman. The Holy Brotherhood gives the Grand Inquisitor a grand burial but throws Don Isaja's body on a dunghill. Yes. So here in chapter 9, we can see that yes, Cunegonde, that is Candide, after so many years, Candide met his lady love Cunegonde at Don Isaja's castle, and Don Isajar arrives to find Cunegonde and Candide alone together in his castle, and he gets angry with this activity. And he suddenly attacks Candide in a jealous rage, and Candide kills Don Isajar with a sword given to him by the old woman. And at the same time, Grand Inquisitor, that is one who is closely attached with the church, he also arrived there to enjoy his allotted time with Cunegonde and is surprised to find Candide, and Candide also kills the Grand Inquisitor. So here the thing is, the satirical element we can trace here in this chapter is the ridiculous ease with which Candide kills his two rivals. Actually, this Don Issachar and Grand Inquisitor, we can consider these two persons as his rivals, that is candidates, because now this Cunegonde is under the control of Don Issachar and Grand Inquisitor. So he simply kills, candidate simply kills these two rivals, simply kills his two rivals and frees Cunegonde and makes him a parody of the traditional epic hero. And we can trace the satirical elements, or we can consider it as a parody of the traditional epic hero. Just consider Beowulf or our Iliad, Odyssey, etc. We all know that the characteristic features of traditional epic heroes. They might have a much more difficult and dramatic time freeing his lover from the clutches of his enemies or something like that. But here, Candide takes a little time to free his lover from the hands of two enemies. That is, he simply kills two rivals. So we can consider it as a parody of the traditional epic hero. Then, then the juxtaposition of these two lovers here in the sense lovers of Cunegonde. That lovers we can put in an inverted comma because Don Issachar is a Jewish merchant and Grand Inquisitor is one who is closely attached with the church. These two persons are supposed to follow good conduct and morality in their life. Instead, what they did, this Grand Inquisitor, that is, he is closely attached with the church and church activities, and he is not allowed to live with a woman morally, but he spent some time with the Cunegonde. At the same time, Don Zajar is a Jewish merchant, and he is supposed to follow the religious conduct and other class distinctions, etc. But he also, yes, violated all these things. So here in this chapter, we can see the meaninglessness. Yes, here it shows how meaningless the distinctions of religion and class can be, and how little role it plays in making people act morally. Actually, yes, they have a role. This morality or the religious teachings, they have a role in the society. What is its role? It plays in making people act morally. Instead, what they did, this Don Isager and the Grand, or here from these two characters, yes, here Walter is trying to portray the meaninglessness of the distinction of religion and class, and how little role that means there is no role it plays in making people act morally. Here, one is a powerful Grand Inquisitor, the other a Jewish merchant, but both end up killed by Candide in exactly the same way for exactly the same reason. That is, the reason here is their desire for Cunegonde and enslavement of Cunegonde. That is the reason here. So these are the major elements that Voltaire discussed in chapter 9. I think all of you understand this chapter 9. Then chapter 10, that is, look at chapter 10. A Franciscan friar steals Cunegonde's jewels. Yes. Despite his agreement with the Pangloss philosophy that the fruits of the earth are a common heritage of all, Candide nonetheless laments the loss. Yes, yes. In chapter 10, we can see that. Yes, in the previous chapter, yes, we saw that this Cunegonde, she took her jewels, money, and 3 horses, and yes, eloped with or escaped with the Candide from that place. So during their journey, a Franciscan friar steals Cunegonde's jewels. All her jewels and money were stolen by a Franciscan friar. Despite his agreement with the Pangloss philosophy that the fruits of the earth are a common heritage of all. Here in this part, we can see that actually this Cunegonde candidate, he is upset that the friar left them insufficient money to travel with. Most of the money, jewel, everything that was stolen by this Franciscan friar, and candidate is upset that the friar left them insufficient money to travel with. But he is trying to accept Pangloss' philosophy of optimism. Despite his agreement with the Pangloss philosophy that the fruits of the earth are a common heritage of all. Actually, this is Pangloss' philosophy, and he is trying to adjust with Pangloss' philosophy of optimism. What is the philosophy here? He accepts that everything on earth belongs to everyone. The fruits of the earth are a common heritage of all. That is, everything on earth belongs to everyone. That is, Pangloss taught him. And that the friar had as much right to the money as anyone else. So he is adjusted with that doing. That is, Franciscan friar steals Cunegonde's jewels, and he is adjusted with yes, that Franciscan friar, because he is trying to agree with the Pangloss philosophy of optimism, that is the fruits of the earth, that is everything on earth belongs to everyone. So the friar had as much right to the money as anyone else, that he believes that. And Candide nonetheless laments the loss, and Candide and Cunegonde sell 1 horse. They have 3 horses and they sell one horse and travel to Cadiz, where they find troops preparing to sail to the new world. Yes, and they travel to a new place named Cadiz and they find troops as a group of people, that is, troops preparing to sail to a new world. Paraguayan Jesuit priests have incited an Indian tribe to rebel against the kings of Spain and Portugal. This is a military troop. They are preparing to sail to the New World, and this Paraguayan Jesuit priests, they have incited an Indian tribe to rebel against the kings of Spain and Portugal. Suddenly, this candidate demonstrates his military experience to general. Yes, in the previous chapter, we saw that he was a part of Bulgarian army, and he had enough knowledge in military training experience, etc. So he demonstrates this military experience to the general, who promptly makes him a captain of that troop. And candidate takes Cunegonde, the old woman, and the horses with him, and predicts that it is the new world that will prove to be the best of all possible worlds. Again, he is trying to adjust with the Pangloss philosophy. He takes Cunegonde, old woman, and the horses with him, and predicts that it is the new world that will prove to be the best of all possible worlds. But Cunegonde claims to have suffered so much that she has almost lost all hope. She suffered a lot. She lost, first of all, she lost her relatives, father, mother, everyone, and she was raped by Bulgarian soldiers. Then she became a slave. Then she became the mistress of 2 people, Don Issachar and Grand Inquisitor. So she suffered a lot. So Cunegonde claims to have suffered so much that she has almost lost all hope. And moreover, the old woman admonishes Cunegonde for complaining because Cunegonde has not suffered as much as she has. But the old woman admonishes Cunegonde for complaining because Cunegonde has not suffered as much as she has. Suddenly, this old woman, yes, she tells Cunegonde that, yes, you have suffered not much as this old woman. That means this old woman has suffered a lot than Cunegonde. The old woman admonishes Cunegonde for complaining because Cunegonde has not suffered as much as she has. That means this old woman has suffered a lot than Cunegonde. So you don't worry. The old woman consoles Cunegonde that you don't worry. You do not suffer too much when you compare with me. That old woman, yes, tells to this Cunegonde. So here in this chapter, yes, we can see that candidates' indifferent attitude towards money. That is in the initial part. This Franciscan friar steals all their money, jewels, etc. But he did not lament lament the loss of money or wealth, etc. That is his indifferent attitude toward money. Because rather than helping him, money and wealth only create problems for candidate throughout his life. Then candidate is being made a captain. Then we can see that yes, he became the captain of that troop. That is another important episode in the novel's ongoing satire of the military. In the previous chapter, we saw that yes, we have seen earlier that candidate is a coward on the battlefield. He was not at all a courageous person. When we in the previous chapter, we have seen earlier that candidate is a coward on the battlefield. His physical movements are apparently enough to impress the superficial military recruiters. Here in this chapter, yes, his physical movements, his demonstrations about his military experiences, everything impressed the general and he became the captain of that troop. That is another one. Then optimism about the new world. This is another point here. That is this Voltaire, that is our author, that is, he explained that optimistic belief here in this chapter. Then many groups of people, yes, religiously motivated or otherwise, saw it as a place to build more perfect societies. And Candidate's opinion in this chapter is the first adjustment he makes to Pangloss's doctrine to try and make optimism fit better with his experiences. In this chapter, he is trying to adjust with, or trying to and make optimism fit, or trying to adjust with the Pangloss philosophy of optimism in this particular chapter. That is, the fruits of the earth are a common heritage of all. There is optimistic belief here. That is, everyone on in the earth belong to everything on earth belong to everyone. Then next, they're sailing to a new world, and again he believes that it will prove to be the best of all possible worlds. So Pangloss's philosophy of optimism that is working out in Candide in here in this chapter, we can see that, and the satirical element, that means his indifferent attitude towards money. Then he became the captain of that military troop. That we all know that we have seen earlier that he is not at all courageous. He is a coward. But here in this chapter, his physical movements, his demonstrations about his military experiences, everything is very appropriate. And he become and this general who makes him a captain of the new troop. These are the important elements that he discussed in chapter 10. Then next is chapter 11. The old woman tells her story. Yes, the old woman consoles Cunegonde that she has suffered a lot. So the old woman tells her story to Cunegonde. What is her story? It turns out that she is the daughter of Pope Urban X and the Princess of Palestrina. Yes, her ancestry, or this old woman is the daughter of Pope Urban X and the Princess of Palestrina, and she was raised in the midst of incredible wealth. That means she is the daughter of Pope and a princess, so she was raised in the midst of incredible wealth. At 14, at the age of 14, already a stunning beauty. Yes, this old woman, she was very beautiful. At the age of 40, she was engaged to the princess of Massa Carrara, and the two of them loved each other passionately. This old woman and her husband, Prince of Massa Carrara. However, during the lavish wedding celebration, the princess mistress killed the prince with a poisoned drink, and the old woman and her mother set sail to mourn at their estate in Giada. Yes, tragedy happened to her life. That is, during the lavish wedding celebration of the old woman and her husband, the princess mistress, that is Massa Carrara, Prince of Massa Carrara, his mistress killed the prince with a poisoned drink. That means she lost her husband, old woman. And the old woman and her mother set sail to mourn at their estate in Giada. On the way, pirates boarded the ship and the Pope's soldiers surrendered without a fight. Yes. On the way to Giada, they were attacked by pirates, and pirates boarded the ship and the Pope's soldiers surrendered without a fight. The pirates examined every bodily orifice of their prisoners, searching for hidden jewels. They raped the women and sailed to Morocco to sell them as slaves. This old woman and her mother. They raped the women, this old woman, and sailed to Morocco to sell them as slaves. A civil war was underway in Morocco. At that time, the arrival of the slaves in Morocco caused a civil war there, from which she barely escaped, and the pirates were attacked. When they reached this Morocco, a civil war was broke out in Morocco, and this old woman, she barely escaped from that situation, and the pirates were attacked. The old woman saw her mother and their maids of honor ripped apart by the men fighting over them. Yes, the old woman expresses the opinion that Africans, such as the Moroccans who kidnapped her, are more hot-blooded and violent people than Europeans. And she saw that her mother and their maids of honor ripped apart by the men fighting over them. After the fray ended, the old woman climbed out from under a heap of dead bodies and crawled to rest under a tree. And she awoke to find an Italian eunuch vainly attempting to rape her. And she managed to escape from that situation. And she alone, that is overcome, that she lost her mother, maid, everything, jewel, money, everything she lost, this old woman. And she managed to escape from the old woman, climbed out from under a heap of dead bodies because there was a civil war in Morocco at that time. And she managed to escape from that situation, crawled to rest under a tree. And she awoke to find an Italian eunuch. Eunuch means is a castrated man. So she awoke to find an Italian eunuch vainly attempting to rape her. Here in this chapter, the old woman tells her story, that is that her bad experience in her life. So here many characters in Candide, this novel have stories of misfortune. Candide, his experience, Cunegonde, her experience, then now old woman, her experience. So many characters in Candide have stories of misfortune, and many of them began life in high positions. Yes, Candide at first, he was in the castle of Baron. Cunegonde is the daughter. Then old woman, she is the daughter of Pope and the princess. Yes, many of the characters began life in high positions. And these recurring stories of misfortune suggest pessimistically. Yes, these recurring stories of misfortune. Yes, in the case of Cunegonde, in the case of Candide, in the case of old women, these recurring stories of misfortune suggest pessimistically that suffering is a universal feature of human life. Yes, we get a message, or the author is trying to convey one message to the readers that suffering is a universal feature of human life. The old woman's story also parodies a narrative common in the literature of the time. That old woman's story. That is, a highborn person ends up in a position of lower social status. In the case of old woman. So these are the main things that our author Voltaire discussed in this chapter. So I think all of you understand these three chapters and its important points. So there is a homework for you, and the homework is write a note on the critical summary. Write a critical summary of the three chapters, chapter 9, 10, and 11. Write a critical summary of the three chapters and write your homework and send back to me. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you again.